Good morning. Today we are skipping ahead and we are starting on a new unit. We are starting in unit 14, okay? And this unit is all about the coordinate system and coordinate graphs, all right? And if you look at the first page of this lesson, it starts in your workbook on page 565. So grab your workbook, a pencil, get all situated. Now, typically we start on this page, right? This solve and share page, and you'll see that they show you a few coordinate grids down here, or really just grids. These are what coordinate grids are, okay? And I'm sure you've seen them before. But the solve and share problem on here is actually a game that they want you to play with a partner. So we're not going to do this page today, okay? I just wanted to show you that this is typically where we start, and this is the lesson we're working on today. However, where I want to start today, so if you have your workbook and everything, we're going to turn the page, and we're actually going to start on 566, which is the back of that first page, which we typically haven't been doing in these lessons. But today we're going to start because I think it's just a better explanation and helps me to explain this coordinate group system a little bit better to you. Okay, now before I dive into here, you're going to see some highlighted words, and these are vocabulary words. Now, one other thing that I wanted to point out to you is there are a set of vocabulary cards that are on Pearson.com, and they're also, I actually took a screenshot for you and I've uploaded them onto Google Classroom, okay? And I'm just going to show you quickly right now. This is the set of vocabulary cards that I found really helpful. So sometimes we use these, sometimes we don't need them. I found this one really helpful, okay, because these are some new terms that we haven't really used this year. So you'll see it starts with coordinate grids, and it just shows a picture of what a coordinate grid looks like. It starts with it shows you what an x-axis is, opposed to here what a y-axis is, and we'll get into that a little bit more. And then it tells you what your origin is, okay, and where that's located. You're going to hear the words ordered pair, okay, and we're going to talk about why it's called an ordered pair. And you can see that obviously a pair means two, so it's two numbers, and we're going to talk about why they're called ordered pair, right? What order they have always written in. And you'll see that we have two different coordinates when we're doing our ordered pair, right? Two numbers. So we have this first number, which is our x coordinate, and then we have the second number down here, which is our y coordinate. Now they're always in that order, hence why they're called an ordered pair, okay? So we're going to get into that as we go along today, but these are some interesting vocabulary that I thought would be really helpful for you as we're moving forward into this unit. So if you want to take a peek and look at these on Google Classroom, have them open to help you while you're doing your work, possibly if you have a printer and you want to print them out, have at it. I felt like these were very helpful. Now, let's go back to 566. Okay, here we are. Now I want to read through this lesson, and it says, a map shows the location of landmarks and has guides for finding them. In a similar way, a coordinate grid is used to graph and name the locations of points in a plane. Okay, and a plane is really just a grid, right? A line, a flat surface. Okay, so this girl here says you can use ordered pairs to locate points on a coordinate grid. All right, so now I have a coordinate grid over here on the right, and I'm just going to highlight a few things that we talked about, okay? So we talked about this line, or these numbers going this way, right? And that one is always our x-axis, okay? We also have this line going up. Oops, he's trying to make it neat. We have this line going up, and that is our y. Oopsies, here we go. Our y-axis. Okay, then we always have where we start at 0. We start at our origin, okay? You'll see that this is all located here, but I also did want to draw it out for you a little bit bigger over here. Okay, so it points out these three important vocabulary terms, right? This origin here. Oops, if I could spell it. There we go. Our x-axis and our y-axis. Now, let's read here where it says C. A point on the grid is named using an ordered pair, right? A pair of numbers that are in an order. The first number So always, always, always in an ordered pair, the very first number is this x-axis. I should probably make that red, right? It's this x-axis. So that always goes first. So when you're looking at an ordered pair, this first one is always x, okay? And then this second one, I'll get my yellow here. It doesn't want to work. This y part here, this second number is always going to be your y-axis, or the number on this vertical axis here, okay? So it's really important to remember that the x always goes first and the y always comes second. That's why they're called an ordered pair. They have to stay in that order, okay? So for example, on this one, it says that to find it, right, the first number is the x-coordinate, names the distance from the origin along this x-axis. So how far to the right are we going to have to move, okay? And then the second number, the y-coordinate, says how far away from that, right, how far up on the x-axis do we have to move. So for example, they give us this example here of 1, 3, right, a coordinate, an ordered pair of 1, 3. So we move over 1, okay, and we move up 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is where our dot's going to go, right? And you can label it that it is 1, 3, okay? If I wanted to say, look for another example, say I wanted to do 4, 6, okay? I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this would be where 4, 6 was located. Okay, so this is what we're going to work on today. Is we're going to be working on kind of reading a coordinate grid. And this week we're going to be working on reading it and mapping and graphing our own points, okay? So let's just quickly look down at the convince me. It says, in the example above, name the ordered pair for point B, okay, if it's at 3 units to the right of point A. So they're saying if we have, I'm going to erase this one here, but if we have point A being this one here, I'm going to erase this so it's not in our way. And then it's saying, okay, we need to move 3 units to the right. 1, 2, 3. So they're saying if point B was right here, okay, say that this was point A, this was point B. We need to figure out what that ordered pair is, okay? What's the X and what's the Y? So first we want to count how far over. We want to look down here and it looks like it's 4 over, okay? And then it's still 3 up. So we're going to see that it goes 1, 2, 3. 3 up. So our ordered pair for point B would be 4, 3. Okay? Let's turn the page and do a few examples together and see what you guys are going to be working on today for your lesson. If you haven't already, before you turn the page, make sure that you copy some of this down somewhere. You can also write this down here in the convince me. But now and you can always pause the video to write that down and then press play when you're ready. All right, if you turn the page and you look at 567, we're going to look at this guided practice part, okay? So first let's get started on these do you understand questions, because these are ones that I typically do for you, but I do want you to listen to them as I explain them on the video so that you have a good understanding of this lesson. It says you are graphing point E at 0, 5. Do you move to the right 0 units or up 0 units? So this is saying, okay, I'm on a graph and my coordinate points are 0, 5. Does that mean I don't move over or I don't move up, right? If you have a 0 on either of them, that means it's going to be on the line, right? It's going to be either on the x-axis or it's going to be on the y-axis. So we have to just pay attention to which one's which, right? So if this one we know is the x always, and this one we know is the y. So you're going to see that the 0 here in this case is the x, right? So that's saying that we do not have to move to the right, right? We're going to move 0 units to the right, and we're just going to move up 5. So this is actually going to land on the y-axis because we're not moving into that x-axis, okay? So I'm going to write that here and then show you what you can type in or write in. I'm going to type it in. I'm going to show you what you can write into your page. Okay, so you can see here that I wrote exactly what we were saying and I gave you something that you can write. And this is also written on the slides when you get into your work. But I just wrote that you move 0 units to the right because that first number, right, that is always telling us how far or what the distance is that we move on that x-axis, right, to the right. All right, let's look at number 2. This is, again, going back to our vocabulary, and it's saying, what would be the ordered pair? If you had to write an ordered pair to tell you where the origin is, right? I'm circling it on this other one just to show you. But if I'm saying where that origin is, well, it's not moved at all across x, and it's not moved at all across y. So we're always starting at like a 0, 0, okay? And then our ordered pair tells us where to go. So again, you can write that on your page, and you're going to see that that's going to be filled in for you on the slides. All right. If we look at number 3, it says describe how to graph point K 5, 4. Okay, so let's imagine we have a grid. If you were explaining to someone but not able to show them, right? Maybe you were explaining it to them over the phone or distance learning, right? You want to explain to them how to do that. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to put in my explanation here for you. And then you're going to write this down on your page. Okay, so now you see that I'm going to show you what I would say if I were trying to describe that point to someone. I would say I'm going to move 5 units to the right of the origin, right? So if you're saying you have to start at the origin, move 5 units or spaces, right, to the right, and then move 4 units up. Okay, so you're really describing how far right and how far up, okay? So that's what you want to do when you're explaining to somebody. So again, you can pause this video, write this down. Now let's get to work, okay? Let's get some of this into action. Now, I'm going to do 4, 5, 6, and 7 here with you on this video. What I would like you to do is copy down the answers on your workbook, okay? And then I'm going to show you the problems that you're going to be doing on your own today. Maybe I'll just do 4 and 5. I think you guys can do 6 and 7. I totally believe in you. All right. So it wants us to write the ordered pair for each point. So we know we're going to be writing 2 numbers. We're going to be writing something, something. Okay. So I can get it all set up. I'm going to be writing an ordered pair of some sort. Okay. So the first one says we're looking at B. So this one right here. Okay. I'm going to erase that so I'm not in my way and I can count, but I wanted to show you. All right, so first I want to follow B down and I want to say, okay, well, B is directly above 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis, right? This one here that goes along this way. So I know that that's a 3 for how far over. Now I'm going to count how far up B goes. 1, 2, and we can see that it's directly across from the 2. Okay, so the coordinate points or the coordinate point for the ordered pair is 3, 2. All right, now let's look at number 5. Number 5 says A. A is directly on the origin, so I've moved 0 units to the right, and I've moved 0 units up. Okay, so that one again is pretty similar to this one over here. It really is just landed right directly on our origin. Okay, so now you're going to use this same grid here, and you're going to, you're going to fill in the answers for 6 and 7. And remember, you're writing down an ordered pair, right? Name the point for each ordered pair. So every time you do that, you're going to be writing the 2 numbers. Now this one's a little bit different, right? It says, what's the point? So now you're either going to be writing down, maybe we're talking C, maybe we're talking B, maybe we're talking D. Who knows? Okay. So you're going to be writing that letter in these boxes here. Once you finish those 2, we are going to move on to the independent practice. So I'm going to show you what you're going to be working on. At the bottom of that page, still on page 567, you're going to continue on and you're going to use this graph for this one right here for all of these problems 8 through 18, okay? For 8 through 13, you are writing the ordered pair, okay? So you want to make sure that you're writing 2 numbers. That's for all of 8 through 13, okay? And you're going to find the number and you're going to write what its pair is. Down below for 14 through 18, you're actually going to be writing down a letter. So you're going to say 2, 2. If I go 2 over and 2 up, right, I can see that this one lands on point L. So I'm just going to write the letter down. Okay, so you're going to complete this page. Now, something new that I added for today is completely optional, but I know that a lot of people like to do a little bit more work, or if you find this super easy and you get through it super fast, what I've included in the slides today is the back page, okay? So I'm going to show it to you on here. It's 568, and you can see that I've added some text boxes in here so that if you wanted to complete this on Google Slides, you can, okay? So there's a few more problems. Some people find coordinate graphing really fun. I do. I really like coordinate graphing. So I would probably like to work on this back page. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But there are a few extra problems. If you want to try some, have at it. If you don't want to try any, you don't have to, okay? But I did want to point out that I put these on here for you for anybody that wanted to do a little bit extra. You can always, remember, do that homework page in your homework workbook as well for extra practice. But for today, all I really need you to do are these problems here, and then 6 and 7 above in, there we go, on the guided practice portion. All right. So if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. If you need that vocabulary, remember this vocabulary is located on Google Classroom. So these, they're little vocabulary cards. They're going to be posted for you. I'm going to leave those up this week while we're working on coordinate grids. So you can always use those as a good resource. Have a great day.